What's up, folks? Welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. I'm doing another donation request, and this one's pretty cool. Matt Gallardo, shout out to you. Thank you. I'm happy for you. Matt is basically celebrating with 2 reaction requests that he did donations for because he just got a new job, and he's psyched. And so life is going to be better for him, presumably. So, Matt, congratulations. And let's see what Erin Enderlin's got here. Till It's Gone. And it's, I got the official music video. I don't know Erin's music as far as I know. And I hope I'm able to post this because it does take quite a bit of work when I do these videos. Whether it's a donation request or regular ones. It takes upwards of an hour and 15 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half, to do the reaction, the editing, the uploading, the thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. So it's always disappointing to me whenever a video is banned. But as I recall, Erin posted this one maybe a year or 2 ago, and hopefully I have some latitude on this one. And Erin, should you see this, thank you. All right, here we go. Erin Enderlin's Till It's Gone. I like the photography there. Going somewhere or coming somewhere?
From the neon light of a liquor store to a flashing motel sign, I bought a room and did my best to disappear inside. Took the phone off of the hook and put the sign out on the door. Opened up that bottle and let it pour till it was gone.
Oh, that's what that's about.
Grabbed an ashtray from the dresser and lit a cigarette. I turned off the TV and lay down on the bed. I smoked one to the filter and I watched the ashes fall. Blue smoke rings at your memory as it danced across the wall till it was gone.
I'm stopping there. One, when I first, God, we're a minute and a half into the song already. She has a Dolly Parton, like, I don't know what you call it, vibrato to her. Her voice initially reminded me from the very first line, reminded me very much of Dolly Parton. And then as it went along, I could hear the differences between them. But sometimes an artist sounds like another artist for a phrase or a word or something, and she has that. But I like her presentation. I like her vocal presentation here. She's not overselling anything. She's not whiny. It's sort of like, I love the traditional country feel to songs when they just present things almost like factually. Not whiny, not trying to prove a point. Just, this is what happened, and kind of the music infuses it with that additional push. All right, let's see where the story goes, though.
All my chances, like this book of motel matches, and the guilt cuts through the night like a knife cuts to the bone. 'Cause when you got no pride to spend, the heartache has no end, you just let those demons loose and just hold on. Just hold on.
Gotta do that. I like that. I could lose this. It's a 4.5 minute song. I can't retain every thought I have during a song. But just let those demons loose. Let those demons loose and just hold on. I like that confluence of thought, really, because sometimes what you consider to be a demon isn't really a demon. Sometimes we see things backwards. Sometimes we might see something that's an enemy we consider it a thought enemy or some sort of enemy, actually needs to come out so that we can become ourselves. And I said this in another song, Trey Lewis's reaction, and this has a similar idea to it to me, that sometimes when you let something out that you've considered to be a bad thing, it shouldn't come out. And you don't necessarily even know where that idea or that value came from that's keeping you from becoming a fuller version of yourself. And then you find out, oh my gosh, this thing I held to be so valuable, so important, so vital, such a principle in me, actually is the thing that was holding me back. But when you add that to alcohol, it may not be the best thing. I mean, generally speaking, alcohol doesn't help. Not when you overdo it, but.
The morning showed no mercy as the sun bled through the blinds. Silent films of you and me flashed behind my eyes. I shook off the whiskey, but I could not shake the fact I was a fool, didn't know what I had till it was gone.
Alright, it came back on her.
I burned up all my chances, like this book of motel matches, and the guilt cuts through the night like a knife cuts to the bone. When you got no pride to spend, and the heartache has no end, just let those demons loose and just hold on. Just hold on.
She reminds me of Joey Feek vocally.
Till it's gone.
Oh, Jesus. Don't do that.
Till it's gone.
Not black lipstick, sweetheart. Don't do it. You're way too pretty. That's bold. I wonder why the symbolism of the black lipstick. Was the black lipstick supposed to portray dark things that she had said in the past that got her in trouble with the guy? Because she initially you see the guy throwing his stuff across the kitchen table, and you think he's the maniac, he's the problem. But then she brought it back to be indicting herself in this thing that you don't know what you've got till it's gone. But interesting the way they shot this video with her, mostly on her, and not just because she's pretty. I mean, she's a pretty girl. But that wasn't the import. It wasn't just to draw your attention to a pretty girl twirling. That can't hold people's attention for this long. I think it had to do with her sort of like time spinning, wasting time, sort of convincing herself that she's semi-happy or this problem's going to go away. But nothing good's going to come from this. Nothing productive. You, in a sense, just biding your time. But I found it took guts to shoot this video the way they shot it, because there were only a couple of scenes. He was in the kitchen. He was in the pickup truck. There was like that profile shot of him in the distance in the pickup truck, but she's holding a baby, so there's a baby involved here. But in the hotel, we didn't see her with the baby. So did he get the baby? Like that part wasn't cleared up, and assuming purposely so, because that would be easy to clear up. But most of the video was shot with her just sort of twirling in there with a mild look of happiness. So maybe is the mild psychosis hers, or not psychosis, but disillusionment hers, because she had enough of a grasp on reality in this song to know that she had screwed up. That can be a really hard barrier to break through. Like I do in my main line of work, which is personal coaching, I deal with a lot of divorcees. And it is very difficult for people to see where they screwed up and or where they may have contributed to the demise of the relationship. And those who can see it can walk themselves back, and actually some have stayed married. Some have come back and said, oh, I don't want to get divorced. I didn't realize he was seeing it from that perspective, or I have been doing these things. That is a very hard thing to see, because you've got to look at yourself as part of the problem. And it's a great weight on your shoulders to not to sort of have to be right all the time, like to be seriously to be right all the time, or to find justification for every thought or action you've had or everything you've said in your life. It's really, when you break those walls down and you say, all right, I'm going to have a certain measure, we all have a certain measure of self-protection, because we may not mean to do harm, but it could come across harmful. And we want to have certain protection stuff so that we just don't look at ourselves as complete losers or wrongdoers. So there's that balance to be struck. But when you can see yourself as part of the problem, life gets so much easier. It just does. And it's shocking that people like you more. I found this out in one sense when I was reading Anne Lamott. And she's one of my favorite authors, because the way she revealed how she was the problem in so many situations. But she would start out by saying she didn't like this other person because here's what's wrong with this other person, and yada, yada, yada. And then she would brilliantly turn it around on herself, that the perspective she had was all her own. It was just a wrong perspective of that person, and she was the problem in assessing that person that way to begin with. So and it was just funny, but you become much more peaceful, and people actually like you more when you can accept your own frailties and flaws, whether in the moment or on a grand scale in life. It's just easier to be with people who aren't trying to promote themselves as this awesome person. But I like Erin's voice. I figured out who it reminded me of. Initially, it was Dolly for just like one line, as I mentioned, and then I figured it out, and I mentioned it during the video. That her voice reminds me of Joey Feek's voice. And Joey passed away a few years ago, which still saddens me. I didn't know Joey, but just that whole scenario, that situation was just sad. But her voice reminds me of hers. So I don't know where Erin is from. Like in another video, I said I couldn't discern an accent. And I did note in the beginning, she came walking up the stairs and they showed her with her boots on. And I have a pair of boots similar. I have like a pointy-toed pair of boots that have phoenixes on them. I like them a lot. And I don't wear them too often because I like the round-toe boots better, as I discovered over the years. But I still have them, and that reminded me of hers. So, Matt Gallardo, what am I going to rate this song? And I'm curious to know why you don't have to say, but I mean, it pops in on my head. Like when people request songs, especially with a donation, which is another level of really wanting to see me react to something, what the impetus for that would be, why this particular song. All right. It took a lot of guts to shoot this video the way they did, because it demanded a lot of patience on behalf of a viewer, because our attention spans are much shorter nowadays. But her just doing the twirling thing, that was meant to communicate a certain idea that she's, in a sense, wasting her time. Yeah, and in a hotel room. Obviously, you don't have a large budget here, but it took a lot of guts. All right, the number that popped into my head, because I did like the instrumentation too. It really did carry the message of the song. The number that instantly popped into my head was an 8.9. So Erin, if you see this, I'm sorry it didn't quite get to 9, but 9 is like elite category. And once you get above like a 9.4, 9.5, that's ludicrous territory. So this was beautiful. So Matt Gallardo, shout out to you. Thank you again, my friend. And there you go. And I have another one of a reaction that I've got to do to another donation request you made. So there it is, folks. Leave your comments for Matt, for me, for anyone. Be kind, and there's the routine. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.